Hello, everybody. It's Carolyn McGee from Healing Through the Heart. What do you think of the new name? It's something that I've been using as a hashtag and using personally, but I am stepping out and really owning it now. So would love to hear feedback on that. As I mentioned last week in my Facebook Live, today we are going to talk about another way you can connect in with your intuition. One of the easiest ways to do that, actually, before I go there, I'm just going to review what they all are. So intuition, in case you don't really understand it fully, is like your internal GPS. It's your internal guidance system. It is how you connect with all of the stimulus that is around us. It is something that's available to everybody. It's like a superpower that we all own, and all we need to do is practice it. The more we practice it, it's just like a muscle. The more we practice it, the easier it becomes to understand it, and the stronger it becomes. You'd be amazed at the information that will be available to you once you start really understanding it and acknowledging it. And just a little bit of trivia, the word intuition comes from the Latin root into you. How interesting is that? And doesn't it sound fit perfectly, right? And speaking of sounding, that is our topic we're going to go into a little bit deeper today. Clairaudience is the second way we really connect and receive information from everything. It can be angels, it can be God, it can be spirit guides, it can be your animal friends. Whatever you hear is a way that they reach out to us and get us to pay attention, get us to focus, and get us to connect the dots. So clairaudience, again, is anything that you can hear. It may be that you wake up first thing in the morning and you have the song that's running over and over and over in your head. So what is the message for you in that refrain? Is it just those words? Or is it an invitation to look up the entire song and see what parts of the lyrics really resonate with you? So that's one way. Another thing is accentuation points. So for example, you're thinking about something and all of a sudden there's a siren. That's an emergency sound. So whatever you're thinking about is important. There's ways that we are getting this feedback. One of the ways that I always receive information, as you all know, I am very connected to animals, is my dog will bark when he wants to accentuate or get me to really focus on something. It'll happen in meetings. It will happen sometimes in coaching sessions, that when something is really important and either the group needs to focus on it or the client needs to focus on it, he'll bark. And it's usually random, except for the fact that he is barking at that point in time to really get us to focus in on it. And because I understand that now, I acknowledge it. I just kind of laugh and say, okay, Mac wants you to pay attention to this point. Another way of us using the clairaudience sound is perhaps you are in your office, or you're at a gathering, or you're walking down the hallway or in an elevator, but every place that you walk, somebody mentions something. So you're consistently receiving or overhearing the same message. That is a clairaudient message for you. For example, if you walk by somebody and they're talking about water, and then somebody else is saying how they're thirsty, and somebody else is saying that they want to go to the beach. Well, they're all water themes. So what's the message for you? Maybe you need to drink more water. It could be something as simple as that. Maybe you need to take a bath, a detox bath or something, and clear out your energy of stuff that's stuck in there. Maybe you need to go to the ocean. That's also very clearing and empowering. it's all personal for you. Like last week when I was talking about the clairvoyant messages, you will start to understand what these messages mean for you. It's all personalized. We each have our own intuitive vocabulary, and all of these meanings are going to have a different resonance for each of us. But learning how to understand what they mean for you is what's going to be really empowering. The other way that we hear is voices. You know, a lot of people hear spirit voices. That certainly is clairaudience, but it doesn't have to be that way. When I receive messages from my angels, it's an energetic sound that's different. It's in a different place in my head. It's back here. Like when I think, the front part of my head feels heavy. Dense, you know, expands, kind of like there's energy in it. So that's how I know that it's me thinking. When I'm hearing outside things, like occasionally my dad will come in and give me a message. It's usually, don't forget to change the clocks. Thanks, Dad. But otherwise, it's a voice from spirit. You know, when I do readings and when I'm doing channeled coaching for people, that's a lot of the way the energy will come through me. It's I hear it and then I can translate it and provide that information to the client. It's very, very powerful. So I invite you, when you hear something that doesn't sound quite like you, it may even have a different energy, it may have a different voice tone, just allow it and feel it. See how you can process that and play around with it. You know, one of the ways that I like to teach my students to understand better how they can understand if it's their energy or not is have somebody do math out loud for them. You know, ask yourself, and we can even do a little test here. So 1 + 1, 2 + 5, 12 - 6. Feel where that energy is in your head. And now if you just close your eyes for a moment and breathe and listen to my voice in a meditative way, where do you feel that energy? It's a really simple way for you to be able to differentiate between the energy that's in your own mind, which is very important, and also the energy that's coming from outside of us, that's coming from God, that's coming from spirit, or what the universe, whatever your belief system says. So those are the main ways that clairaudience is powerful. I see that we've got a couple of people on here. If you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Hi, Denise. Hi, Larry. Any questions about clairaudience? Any experience about clairaudience? Well, okay. Another way that you can tap into that clairaudience is to be out in nature. You know, animals are often very powerful guides for us, and it's something that unless you're deliberately tapped into that, you can almost not pay attention to it. You know, the sound of a crow up in a tree as you're going for a walk, the swooshing of the wind, all of those things can provide messages for you. Even the rain. You know, I was down at my office the other day, and all of a sudden my awareness went to the window, and the rain was just pouring down. And it reminded me that I hadn't drank enough water that day. So it's those subtle connections that we can make with those sounds in our environment. So it's opening up to possibility, opening up our minds to a different, more expanded way of connection and of receiving. that's the beautiful thing about all of our intuitive senses. It's all about receiving information for our highest good, for what's best for us and how we can then go out and be of greater service to the world. So a quick review. There are 4 main ways of connecting with your intuition. It's clairaudience, clairaudience, which I just went through today. And there's clairvoyance, which is posted. It was out there last week. Next week, I'll be doing clairsentience, which is the feeling, and then claircognizance, which is that gut instinct, that knowing. So thank you all for joining me. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments. If you want to chat with me, I'm happy to spend 15 minutes with you. I will post a link to my calendar and I can explain to you how you can get more connected to your own intuition. Thanks, everybody. Love you. Bye for now.